When you try your best but you don't succeed. Alright, so let's talk about when you try your best but your best still isn't enough. You know that you've done everything you can in order to get to a certain goal, but things just is not falling into place. Things are still not making sense. You're still not seeing any fruits of the labor that you've done. I feel like someone out there needs to hear this because I wish that someone told me this when I was in this situation.
I had to switch locations because it's a lot quieter here than it is in the other room, and it's a lot more comfy here too.
Before I go into what I did to overcome this breaking point that we're going to be talking about, I do want to share the story that I personally went through, going through this when you try your best but you don't succeed moment. 2 years ago, I clearly remember I felt like everything was going in shambles. Everything was shattering for me with regards to my career. I was going through all these auditions. I was passing video auditions left and right. I was traveling from my province to the city just to be in auditions, and nothing was working. I wasn't getting accepted to any project. And the worst part, I was taking this class. It's an advanced acting class, and I failed it. As an overachiever, it is the first time I've ever failed a class. Okay, maybe not an overachiever, maybe just an achiever. As an achiever in our family, I've always been at the top percentage of the class, and I never really expected that I would fail this class, especially not because it's something that I'm actually very passionate about. It just hurts me a lot because it was the first time I actually paid for a course that wasn't paid for me because of a scholarship or anything. It's the first time I actually went to a class and paid for it, and I failed it. And so everything for me just felt like it was being flushed down the toilet. That's how bad it felt for me. And also, I clearly remember this. At that point as well, I was losing friends. I was losing who I thought was the closest friends of mine in the industry, in like the acting industry. I was in a very tough spot, and it was going to be so much easier for me to just give up than to actually continue doing what I was doing because I was in so much pain. I was crying so much. I was questioning everything, even myself. I was questioning my skills, my abilities. I was even questioning if there's even a future for me here. And I remember crying so much and kneeling in my bedside. I was kneeling and praying and asking God for strength. I was asking God for patience. I was asking God for clarity. And I was asking God for a glimpse of hope, even for just like one fruit of all the labor that I've given. And then I saw this video. I think it was from Layla Hermosi. It was a short video of hers. I'm gonna try to find the video and insert it here, but if not, it went something like this. She said, if you feel pain, if you feel discomfort, you need to lean on it. You need to lean on that discomfort because a lot of times when we feel discomfort, when we feel pain, we tend to avoid it. And she said, if you are in this situation, what you need to do is to lean on it and not to like avoid it. You need to lean on the pain, on the discomfort. It's so much easier to say than to do, especially if you're in a situation where you feel like a lot is at stake for you. And so that's the thing, guys. You also need to choose who you listen to. And that's also the importance about the content that you consume because it will greatly affect how you go about the world. And I'm so grateful that I found that video or that video found me, because what I did was I actually leaned into the discomfort, leaned into the pain. I still went to find auditions. I still went to find VTRs. And lo and behold, right before I was feeling like giving up, lo and behold, I had the biggest project ever. I got casted in a commercial where I'm with one of the biggest stars here in the Philippines, and the pay was I can't even say it. The pay was overwhelmingly big. It was such good exposure. I was in the televisions, I was in ads everywhere and social media. I had a billboard. It was my first billboard. Sadly that I don't have a photo of that billboard, but we were also on the billboard, and the pay was so big. And that's when I learned one of the biggest lesson I could give away right now. It's that when you feel like you're at the breaking point, when you feel like everything is breaking and shattering around you, when you feel like a lot of what you're doing is not bearing any fruit, when you feel like everything you're doing is just leading to a heartbreak, that is a sign that something, a big breakthrough is coming near you. If your heart is breaking so much, that is a sign that a breakthrough is nearby. Another lesson that I did pick up from that is that growing isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Growing isn't just you actually growing or like getting opportunities. It's not. Growing means you have to go through growth pains. And from the word itself, growth pains, they're not supposed to be happy all the time. Growth pain is that. It's supposed to be painful. Because when you're growing, you're literally pushing your boundaries. Because when you're growing, you're literally going outside of what you're used to. You're literally passing through a certain threshold that you're used to. I was only used to a certain amount of failure. I was only used to a certain amount of rejection before I got through that breakthrough. And so when I found strength, when I found purpose in going forward and still pushing through, even when it was painful, even when it was uncomfortable, I reached a point where I've never been to before. So imagine it like a circle. So this is your circle. I'm gonna try to put an animation or something, but if not, please just imagine it with me. This is your circle. And now every time you're experiencing any pain, any breaking point, it just means that you're actively trying to push the boundary of your circle. You're literally trying to push the boundary of what you're used to in order for you to get results that you're not used to. So in order for you to be able to get the results that you're not used to, you need to be able to go through the things, the hardships that you're not used to. And when it's your first time experiencing that kind of heartbreak, that kind of rejection, that kind of hardship, it's going to be hella painful for sure. Your first time will always be the hardest. And that's why when you're trying to go for something that you've never achieved before, it is for sure, it's 100% certainty that you will go through a heartache that you've never ever experienced before, because you're going for a result that you've never experienced before as well. When you're going through this exact same situation that I'm describing, and I know you are if you've reached this point of this video, I want you to just remember that when you feel like everything is breaking, it's a sign that a breakthrough is coming. And I know, guys, I know it's hard to have faith if you don't see any results. It's so hard for you to keep on going and to have faith in yourself and to have faith in your goals and to have faith in your dreams if you're not seeing any results, if you're not seeing any fruits of the labor. I know I've been there. But at the same time, that is what faith means. Faith means the belief in something that is unseen. Faith is believing in something where you don't have evidence just yet. And your biggest tool in order for you to achieve whatever goal you're going for, especially if you have big goals for yourself, the biggest tool you could ever have is having faith in you, having faith in your creator, having faith in your goals. You need to have faith in what you're seeing in your mind, that it will come into fruition, even if you don't have evidence of the reality yet. Guys, that's what manifestations is all about. It's really just having faith. Before this video ends, let's have a little exercise here, okay? I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to write down a certain breakthrough you've ever had in your life. Write it down. And right below that, I want you to go back to your experience before you had that breakthrough. I am 99.99% sure that before you even had that breakthrough, you had to go through some tough things. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same cycle, I'd say, in order for you to achieve another level of goal. Again, it's kind of like you playing Mario. In order for you to get through the next level, you first have to beat the boss of the current level that you're in. And so, if you feel like giving up right now because you're going through some tough things, you keep on trying, you try your best, but you never have results. I want you to lean into that discomfort. If you feel like you've tried your best but haven't succeeded just yet, I challenge you to keep on going. I challenge you to keep on going and come back to this video when that breakthrough comes, because I know it will. If you like this video and you thought this video was helpful to you, I make a lot of videos like this. I make videos about dreams, goals, self-development, and motivational videos. So if you're up for that, welcome to my channel. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified whenever I release a new video. Bye! See you in my next video. Nagtitinginan ako ng tao, guys.